today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious recipe. You're going to need a pack of bacon, sour cream, pack of ranch, some stick of margarine, Velveeta cheese loaf, potatoes, and chicken broth. And this is going to be a delicious meal. So you're going to start by peeling your potatoes. Y'all excuse James in the background. I did film this on Thanksgiving Day. We decided to have Thanksgiving at our home. We canceled it with family, so I was preparing this dish for us. We love it. It is a family favorite and highly requested by especially my boys. They really love this recipe. It's very rich. The name of it is ranch potatoes, and it's so good. So once you get your potatoes peeled, you're going to then cube them, but you want them to be large cubes. You don't want to cube them like if you were going to do mashed potatoes. You want them to be, fairly large when you cut up your potatoes. Once you get those cut up, you're going to then boil that in chicken broth. You're going to boil your potatoes until they're done in chicken broth. And this is so good, y'all. It's just, I cannot even tell you how good this recipe is. I mean, I'm doing this voiceover now and wishing I had some because it is so good. And I was wrong about the name. It is actually called cheesy ranch potatoes. I left out the cheesy part. What was I thinking? That's the best part. Not really, but the whole thing is good. But you're gonna cover your potatoes in chicken broth and get that on to boil. Now, as our potatoes are starting to boil, I'm gonna take my bacon and I'm going to cut it up into little bitty pieces. Now, you could use bacon bits already done that you buy, like the real bacon bits. You could use those to substitute for what I'm about to do because this is very time consuming, but y'all, I would not skimp on this part. This makes the recipe, in my opinion. I mean, every ingredient in this recipe is vital, but that is an option. I don't do that. I never have done that, but I know some girls, I'm not going to call any names, Delana, that cheats and does that, but I don't recommend it. But, you do you. I'm showing you how I make it. I don't skimp on it, but you're just going to cut up your bacon into bits, and then we're going to fry it. You're going to fry them extra crispy. We need them to be really crispy. Not that y'all need me to tell y'all what I'm fixing to do, but I'm just gonna take my bacon, I'm just gonna kind of break it up, put it in a pan, a pot. I put it in this pot because it's just much easier while you're frying it because there's so much of it. And I'm just gonna start cooking it down and frying it till it's crispy. Okay, y'all, this is what we're wanting our bacon to look like. We want it to be good and crispy because that is going to be important. I personally don't like really crispy bacon, but in this recipe it's very necessary for your bacon to be good and crispy. You don't want it to be, gooey, not cooked all the way. You want it to be good and crispy. And here I am just getting all my bacon out. I'm going to set it to the side and proceed. Okay, so once our potatoes are done to where you can stick a fork in them, these were actually probably a little too done, but it's still good. I mean, it's not gonna hurt it, it won't affect the recipe at all. We're then gonna drain, pour off the chicken broth, and now we're gonna take our Velveeta cheese loaf. The recipe calls for 1/4 of the loaf. I use a half because I like cheese. So we're just gonna cut that loaf in half, and then we're gonna cut it into little squares, and you'll see how I do this. There's no rhyme or reason. You just wanna cut it into squares because that is going to be mixed in with our recipe. I do not know what James is doing over there, but he looks like he's cutting up something, and I don't even remember what it was. But I know that he was all up in my space. Move, James, move, I'm working here. all that cut up. Now you see the potatoes, I've put them in a pot. And now the fun begins. Now we're gonna mix in a whole stick of butter or margarine. I just cut it up, put it in there. And then I'm going to add a packet of ranch seasoning. Oh y'all, this is so good. My mouth's watering just thinking about this recipe. So we're gonna empty all the contents out of that little package. Then I'm gonna add an 8-ounce sour cream. We're gonna mix all that together until it's mixed really well. Now we're gonna add in our cheese that we cubed up, the Velveeta cheese loaf. We're gonna mix all that in. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? Oh my goodness. Y'all, this is a very, 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 very rich recipe. It's so rich, so good, but it's so rich. So we're gonna mix the cheese in, and that's what it should look like. See, I wish I would have not boiled my potatoes quite as soft as I did, but it's okay. It does not affect the taste of it at all, I promise. So now I'm just gonna put it in this casserole dish. Just gonna pour it all in this casserole dish. It's more like cheesy ranch mashed potatoes now, isn't it? But it's okay, it's okay. I promise it's okay. That's usually how mine turns out anyway. I rarely get my potatoes exactly right, but it's okay. Anyway, I'm gonna get all that ooey goodness out of this bowl and into my casserole dish, not leaving a drop of it behind, because y'all, it is so good. Have I told y'all how good this is? Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of spread it out, and then we are going to, remember all that bacon we fried? That's what's coming next. We're gonna now cover the whole entire top of it with our bacon that we fried really crispy. Just cover it real good. So once we get all this covered with bacon, we're gonna put it in the oven on 350 just until it starts bubbling around the sides. And y'all, please, 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 please don't look at my kitchen when you see me put this in the oven. James is a messy cook, and we had been cooking all day, and it was a wreck. But once you put this in the oven, just wait for it to kind of like bubble around the sides, and then it's done, because it's really done when you put it in the oven. You're just wanting to kind of melt the cheese, but that's what it should look like. And I really hope y'all enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy this recipe. It's so good. It's really a good dish for big, huge family days. If you make it, let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would hit that little red subscribe button and become part of my family here on YouTube. And also, if you have an Instagram account, follow me on Instagram. Oh, side note, I am going to keep all of that bacon grease. I'm going to put it in one of these jars, and I'm going to stick it in my fridge. And as I cook later on, I will use it to season, like, this is great to season butter beans, peas, stuff like that. So that's just a little tip. So I hope y'all enjoy this video, and until next time, bye y'all.